wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious. Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious. Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious. Welcome to Elevated Wisdom.
All right, here we go. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I am Intoxicated DJ, and we are we are here with another episode of Elevated Wisdom, the podcast where healthy conversations are transformative not only for us but for those people that watch and decide to get involved with the conversation. The topics are always dealing with the human experience, and what we share is our experiences, our perception of those experiences, and what we have done to surpass certain challenges of experiences and things in this nature. So I am excited to be here with Ahmad, Jermaine, and my good brother from the military, Tim Hutto, coming to you live. He's here with me in the DC area, but he hails from the New York, side of the house, and very, very classy young man that has brought a lot of culture into my life, and I'm very excited to have him here and speak with us today. So Ahmad, how you been, man?
I'm good, man. Good to see you guys, and for everybody that is here, welcome back.
Nice, nice, and tell us a little something about yourself, Tim.
Hi, just give you the quick intro. My name is Timothy Hutto. I am an activist, I am a photographer, and I'm an artist in the city of New York. My day job is I work at the American Museum of Natural History in the anthropology department as a photographer. And, in my off time, like, I am a artist that uses a medium called wheat paste, where you create guerrilla posters in the public space and add to the texture of the city.
Nice.
I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Heck yeah, that's beautiful. The art I've experienced myself is absolutely, in my perception, transformative in the sense of knowing the artist, knowing the context behind the story of the journey that has taken him to where he's at. It adds on to the vibrancy of his art, and so I'm very blessed to not only own some of his stuff, but also have been participated in just seeing him do his thing. And so I know, as far as myself goes, this topic of friends and friendship, these two gentlemen that sit here today have been part of my life quite for a long time now. I mean, we what, met in 2009.
Yeah, like 2009, 2011, freaking heavyweight stuff in the Middle East.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
bonded in a crucible of foreign danger. Like
Yeah.
you know, like you develop a level of trust, which goes along with friendship. You know,
Indeed,
and
indeed.
like I think that is one of the things that I find is the most important and valuable part of friendship is the level of trust you establish. And like can we do that after we've had traumatic experiences, or like we're struggling with depression, anxiety, mental health, like it makes it difficult to create these friendships
Exactly.
and maintain them.
Indeed, indeed, and that is something that has a question that has lingered for me for a while. Why? I know that I put similar efforts towards all my friendships. I do the best that I can to be the best friend that I can for all my friends, and so to see the different results in different friendships, where some last a few minutes, some last a few months, some last a lifetime. I've always wondered what, was it me? Was it them? Was it the time? What exactly makes it or breaks a friendship? And at least for me, knowing you guys for close to similar times, the one thing that we all share again is we all was going through something traumatic in our lives, where we felt comfortable enough to share those experiences with each other, to the point where we bond and now create this safe place of knowing that, at least with one person, that person with you guys, I can be my authentic self. I can tell you straight out how I'm feeling without having to worry about other things, right? And so for me, that has been a key feature of our friendships that has kept it going for over decades. And what about you, Jermaine? What are some of the thoughts that you have that come into friendships?
Oh man, uh, you guys hit it on the head with the trust level. I think for me, the most important thing is just if I know I can be myself and not be judged,
Mm.
right? And as I'm being myself, it allows that other person to be themselves. Cause you can tell, like you know what I'm saying. When you meet people, you can tell when when it's a facade, right? Or they're trying to be extra, or they want people to like them so bad. Like you can see through all those things. So for me, it's just if someone is just being themselves, it's nice to see, and it makes me want to gravitate and get to know them a little better. But obviously, sharing any type of experience, whether it's a good experience, traumatic experience, that will bring people closer, right? Because only you guys shared it at that particular time. So that's something you'll always have memories, whether good or bad, it's still a memory. It's still something you'll talk about. It's still something you'll share. And as you look back, a lot of times the things that were so horrible, we can sometimes laugh at now, right? Remember that time we did this? But at the time, we were both, we were all like, oh man, like, I don't know if we're going to make it. But now you can look back 5, 10 years later and kind of laugh about certain things. So yeah, friendships, man, it's good. I think they're great. And I don't know, it's just one of those things when you meet people, you kind of know if it's going to be a long one or it's just an acquaintance. That's the way I see him. Like it's either I have a friend or you're just an acquaintance. That's it. But that's just my thoughts on that particular subject right there.
Nice. What do you agree with, or do you share a the idea of when you meet somebody, like, do you have that experience?
So, the first thing that like echoed true that I heard was authenticity. And like if you meet somebody who is authentic, you are able to be authentic, and like real recognizes real.
Yeah.
But like, not for nothing, like like sometimes in the human experience, like we judge the book by the cover. Like if you see somebody who supports a rival football club, like you have an instant connection.
Yeah.
But it's not a good one.
Yeah. Okay. I could deal with that. Yeah. I want to disagree, but I also understand the complexity that it comes with, because for example, with you guys, right? It wasn't an instant like, oh, this guy's gonna be my friend for the rest of my life because of my history with people, but I felt a level of comfort that I didn't feel with many other people. I felt a level of peace and a level of safety, a level of variety of things that I don't get with a lot of people. So maybe that's my experience when I first meet somebody, right? The what I receive, and it sounds like that's kind of similar to your experience, Ahmad, about what you get. So my question would be, what exactly is going on with you when you first meet somebody? What are the things that speak up to you, that grab your attention, or that makes you know, like, oh, this person is gonna be a good one?
I pay attention. I'm pretty quiet when I first meet people. I observe a lot. And just by watching people, they'll tell you everything you need to know just by watching them. Certain things they say, certain things they do. And again, as that person is comfortable, you see different sides. And when someone takes the mask off, that lets you know that, now I can go to another deeper level of a friendship, and not where it's just superficial, right? Where we're just talking about the day, or like he said, the football, did you see the game? And those are all superficial conversations. But how I'm feeling and what I'm going through and what I believe in, those are deeper conversations that you can't have with everybody, right? So those are things that's kind of built over time, and it's something where, like he said, you go back to that trust, and when you feel ready to take that leap to be received on a deeper level, like, hey man, this is what I'm doing. Because some people will say they're gonna be there for you, but in reality, they don't know how to be there for themselves. So how can you really expect them to be there for you? Their intention is to, but they don't know how to. And that's where I think a lot of us get confused on, that wasn't a real good friend, or it wasn't, because now we're taking things personal that shouldn't be personal, because they're not even capable. So you can't hold somebody accountable for something that they can't even do for themselves. And I think we do that to a lot of people, as well as judging a book by its cover and not getting to know people based off of a vibe or a certain thing. Or it could be something that they trigger in us because they're showing or demonstrating an ability that we don't have or that we want. And there's a little jealousy. There's empathy, or maybe, there's all facets to how we get emotional when we meet people and we don't understand things. So the biggest thing for me now is understanding myself, and regardless of who I meet, I'm okay with me. And if I'm okay with me, the world's okay with me. And it's up to that other person to determine. And as time goes and as we share moments, that's how that connection will get deeper.
Mm.
But I'm not looking or screaming for anybody to be my friend. The only person I can rely on and I need to be my best friend is me. And I have to accept all the aspects of me and be comfortable with all that. Because if I'm not comfortable, how can I expect anybody else to be? So that's the area right now, kind of, where I'm at, as far as that aspect of the friendships and what we're looking for. But do either one of you kind of want to expand upon that or
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Tim?
dive into it?
There are a lot of looking in the mirror moments, hearing the sentiment. Um, a really hard act to follow up. You know what I mean? I think deep down at the core of long-lasting friendships is a sense of humor. Like when you can laugh at the bad times, was spoken about earlier. That means that you have a good story to tell. And I think that if you are telling good stories together, that makes for exceptional friendship.
That's powerful because that is the one thing for me that really kind of weighs the difference. Like how good of a friend he is based on how many memories, in my opinion, I really have of them. The fond memories, even the bad memories, they come in handy, right? Because it's how were they in the moment? Were they, did we have a lot of good and bad? And in the good, did they take the lead at times? Did I come in? And when seeing the variety of being and just being able to say, yeah, we've had all this experience, for me that really helps out to say, I trust this person. This person is going to be, I will love for this person to be a lifelong friend, because the stories, these experiences only keep getting better, funnier, crazier, whatever it may be. Even now in our later stages of life where it's nah, we're just ready, we cool by just chilling and going to get something to eat, walk around the park. Before it's nah, I need to get some fucking, some crazy shit and do this and do that. And
there is some wild cowboy stuff happening. And I also want to do wild shit, so let's go.
Right. And which is interesting too, because I feel that is also a reason why friendships break up, experiences, right? And so we get to a level of certain type of experiences where we're okay, this person's not good for me, or somebody tells you you're going down a bad path, that person's not good for you. For me, it's been a little bit of both. Ultimately, I've always something that I want to go back to what Ahmad said was, I never learned how to be my friend. And so no matter who I was trying to be friends with, I always chased. And it seemed like they always left because of something. I always wondered what that was, and it wasn't until I learned how to appreciate myself, how to honor myself, how to be my friend first, I understood that I wasn't being the friend that I thought I was, right? And being a yes man isn't a good friend. Being always the person that tries to correct somebody, in my opinion, that's not the best friend, right? It's a mixture of things. And so for me, when I allowed myself to be okay by myself, the people that I had this superficial connections with seemed to just fall off. And at first it kind of hurt, But then I realized that the people that actually stuck around were the ones that we had these amazing stories that we've had, history and continue to build and whatnot. So I would like to ask Jermaine, Ahmad, what for you in your experience, what were some of the things that for you was like, okay, I don't need you in my life as a friend, and to the point where you've had to cut people off.
For me, the biggest thing is like talking behind the back
Mm,
or any action that at the time that I would consider like feminine, right?
mm,
Talking behind your back, passive aggressive stuff. And a lot of times with my life, it always usually was centered around women, right? And I never understood why people would get so uh, weird about it.
mm,
Women outnumber men, so there's plenty of fish in the sea. And the same way friends are seasons at times, so are certain relationships. So the probability is mine's not going to last, so you'll get a go. So why are you trying to stop my go when you don't have a go? Now you really ain't got to go, and she's going to want to know why, and then you're just feeding me, but yet the whole time you're upset of something I don't even control or even care about.
mm,
I'm not chasing it. I'm not looking for it. So for me, it's the in a sense like betrayal or the backstabbing or talking. I just for me, I don't really have any. Uh, I can't tolerate that. Like I just don't. Like it's just certain things that it's like, man. And the older I've gotten, the golden rule is important to me. Like if I'm not treating you that way, I shouldn't get it. You shouldn't treat me in that manner. If I'm not doing it, like if I'm being respectful, I'm being honest, I'm approaching you. I would love to receive the same thing. If we can't do that, then we're really never were friends in the first place, in my opinion.
mm,
And so based off of that, I'm grateful for all those experiences because it allowed me to understand certain things, put up boundaries. Also, like you said, I was searching for approval and acceptance at times. Because me being biracial, there were moments and periods where neither group pretty much wanted me to be accepted in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Because I was in my opinion, maybe I was some form of a threat. I don't know. I never got why, and no one ever said anything, but I wasn't included. I wasn't truly accepted. So it did weigh on me to be like, dang, what's wrong with me? So there were periods in time that I was searching for that approval, but at the same time, it forced me to be by myself and rely on myself and be my friend. But at the same time, there was a piece of me that was upset because I didn't feel accepted.
mm,
But at the end of the day, I'm realizing now what I was upset at was really myself. I wasn't fully accepting myself and embracing to be a little bit lonely. There's nothing wrong with having time to yourself. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to drink or go to a party and do something that you want. There's nothing wrong with preferring to go to the gym than to go to the club. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
But because I didn't want to go with 15 or 20 dudes, oh, you think you're better than us, you this and that. And it's like, no, I just don't want to be around in that type of environment. You know what I'm saying? That's not it. So I guess it's kind of going off on a tangent a little bit. But it was more or less the trust thing and to me the little backstabby stuff,
Yeah.
talking behind the back. Not just tell me, man. Like, if you got a problem with something, say it. Okay, that's cool. If you don't, you know.
Mm.
Right, and like healthy
So
boundaries, it's healthy. Like if someone violates those boundaries that you have communicated and understand on that level of friendship, like they're not a good friend. They're not a good friend.
Mm.
So like like if they're not building you up, if they're not on board on your team, being like, oh, that's what you want to do, like do it, like go as hard as you can,
Mm.
like like maybe they should be,
Mm.
and maybe it's on us as friends to be like this is what I need for support. It's okay to reach your hand out to have them help you lift up.
Indeed.
Like,
Yeah. Communication is extremely important. And yeah, I wanted to mention that I don't think you went on a rant. You were explaining why you felt the way you feel when it comes to the backstab and the lies and whatnot. And I think most of us, for the most part, can share that understanding and discomfort of betrayal and deceit and whatnot. That's that's I would say one more of the common ones, as far as people saying I am done as far as being friends with this person. Is there any other things that for you that have been like that is not what a friend should do, in your opinion?
oh, like absolutely, like a friend pays you back when they borrow $50, right?
Mm.
Like, or like when they owe you $50, they're like, "Hey, I'll pick up the check." Like there's a reciprocal like give in successful friendships. And I think what it comes down to for me is that in friendship, I really do my best to not keep score. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between keeping my friend accountable because I want them to be better, and me keeping score because like that's about my ego,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like that's where I'm coming from.
I dig that.
Yeah.
I dig that. We speak about the ego quite a bit with Ahmad and I, and no, I can share that sentiment as far as the keeping count, right? Before I would get my own feelings hurt because I would be like, well, I did such and such the other day. Why couldn't you help me out this time? And it's like, if I'm living my life counting how many good things I've done for you and how many things you're done for me, am I being the best friend that I can be in the situation? So that's a good point, where I've let go of people thinking I'm protecting myself, but at the same time now I'm not coming into the situation the most healthiest of mind. So I am definitely guilty of that as well. And that is something that, for a person who at one point felt like, I don't know how to approach people, I don't know how to make friends, I've experienced that just being me works just fine. All I have to do is strike up a conversation. Those interested, those people that feel like Ahmad and Tim, that is like, well, yeah, I get a vibe, and I got the vibe, and whatever you're talking about, I'm here, I'm listening, and we start a conversation, and you go from there. And some people will not. And so the next question I have for Ahmad was, what are some of the, through your challenges of making friends, what are some recommendations, tools that you've used yourself to ensure that you're a good friend and find good friends when you're out and about wherever in life?
all right. I'll go back and answer the previous question real quick. A big thing for me is just the respect level. Even though I went on the tangent, but it would be the respect level.
Mm.
But the tools, um, now would be not having any expectations,
Beautiful.
Mm.
just being in the moment of, like you said, communicating and just experiencing the person hopefully the authentic self, right? Um, the younger me would be in my head, and I would play scenarios based off of previous experiences that did cause uh, some lack of self-worth, I guess to say. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And maybe I didn't have as much confidence at particular times or with particular people. So now, it's getting out of my head and not having, kind of like Tim said, judging a book by its cover, or already having the answer or playing the scenario out before you meet the person. Like, I already know they're not going to do this, or this, that rigid thinking of already having all the answers when we really don't know anything. We know nothing, but yet we know it all. And we, by doing that, we're cheating ourselves from those experiences of having opportunities to meet great people. Um, so for me, it's just now letting go, getting out my head, being myself, and understanding those that are going to resonate will, and those that don't, it's not a personal thing. They're just not at the level that I'm at.
Mm.
They may still be wanting to do things that I no longer want to do. And they have every right to want to partake. They have every right to not want to partake. It is okay. Like, I'm not taking it personal. I'm not trying to have um, expectations on people as far as keeping the score or what I would do. I am gonna hold the golden rule very close to me, and based off of their actions, they'll let me know what level we're at.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? They'll let me know. Like, they don't have to tell me. They're gonna show me. I just have to be paying attention. So if it doesn't fit the respect level or boundary that I would like for myself, then I know to step back.
Mm.
But again, as I step back, I'm not taking it personal. This is who that person is, and at this point in my life, I want more. I would like more. And if they can't facilitate that, it is okay. Then it goes to the acquaintance level, and then you have your friend level.
Mm.
So that's how I would, break it down for myself. But the biggest thing is just trying to experience it and not putting pressure on, is this my friend? Will it be my friend? How long will it be? It doesn't matter. I just want to be in that experience and enjoy whatever we get to talk about or whatever we're doing at that moment, because that's all really that matters. Right now, that's it. All that other thing 20 years from now, time will tell. And, let it go. Just appreciate the person for where they are, where they're at, and that's it. Don't take shit personal. It's hard to do. So I'm not saying it's something very easy, because obviously we do get in our heads. We are going to worry about certain things. But if you can get out of that and just relax, then we'll be good.
Mm. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And hey, I'm gonna bring the same question over to you, Tim. As a person who enjoys his solitude to an extent and can also have that social hat at points, right? For people that have a hard time making friends or approaching people, what are some of the things that or skills that you use living in this city where massive amounts of people are together all at once and in smaller places, and the most of the parties that you're around, there's a lot of people with knowing this and knowing that, and so how do you maneuver this world in maintaining the friendships and conversations?
So I do it poorly, like full stop. Like I am not great at feeding and caring for friendships. You know what I mean? Like I do my best, but because of the baggage in my past, like I don't do it well.
Mm.
So like as an artist, I spend prolonged periods by myself, and like art supplies and like canvas, or like myself and camera and like artifact in museum. So like my 8 to 12 hours a day, like I'm all by myself. And like sometimes I am able to not do that. Sometimes I'm invited to a party or a film screening, or a collector wants to see me as the artist and performing as the artist in our social relationship. And it's difficult because I'm not comfortable in a crowd of people. And it's difficult because this expectation that I create in my brain makes being an artist in public anxiety inducing. So personally, I take medicine every day because like it makes me able to be more vulnerable and open to experiences in the world. And two, like I practice. Like I know if I'm going to talk to collector, like I do the practice to make sure that I'm the best version of the artist I can be in that situation. Or if I'm going to the hype movie screening, I make sure that like I am prepared for it. And like with friendships, you don't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
Like you are able to pick up the phone no matter what time or what you're going through, to an extent, there are exceptions for everything, and be like, hey, I am going through this, or I had this bright moment, and like I want to share it with you because I think it's going to make the situation better. And that's really like one of the things I find with friendship is best is that you do have somebody waving the flag for you. And everybody should have that. Everybody deserves to have that.
Indeed. No, I agree and appreciate those words, and again the courage that it takes to be authentic. And a lot of people feel this shame to going through therapy or having to take medications or any other these things that tools that we utilize to assist us to be our best versions of ourselves. For the most part, there's this stigmatism to feel bad about it, right? Like going to rehab is seen as a bad thing, but it's like if you break your leg, where are you gonna go? Rehab, to rehabilitate the injury, the situation, whatever is going on, right? And so understanding the difference and appreciating the that fact, right, that this is part of me, but it does not define me and does not put me in any sort of category. I definitely do appreciate that, man. And something that you said struck to me just now, because for me, most people are like, DJ's he's the man. He's like you put him in any group and he's socializing and he's doing this. And I'm like, man, you don't know how stressful that is. You don't know how long it took me to prepare to do that. You don't know. And then I'm sitting here looking at you. I'm like, but man, when I the last time I went to your show at the airport, you were on it, and I was like, what is he talking about? Like, he's so smooth with it, and like he's so cool with it. Like, he's flowing out here in this floor. And then just now sitting here next to you, it's like, that's what it is. And I finally it clicks. But again, and with that is the importance of having friends, right? Where now through a conversation, I realize something powerful about me. And not because they're pointing things about me and telling me to look at things about me, but because they're sharing their experience. And I'm able to sit back and just listen, really listen and take in what they're saying. Active listen. Active listening means understanding, listening to what they're saying, at the same time taking a little bit of time to compare or to empathize, or to not compare. I don't want to use that word because compare is the thief of joy, as my friend says, but to really see what they're saying, what is going on, what is the lesson in their experience, and how I can apply that into my experience. Because it may not be the same experience, but the tools will have the same effect despite who is using them. And that is a key factor that I did not want to believe in. I wanted to say, well, if this tool didn't work exactly how I wanted it, then this tool's not going to work or doesn't work and I'm never using it again. And for me, I cut myself short of a lot of experiences, like Ahmad said, through that, based on just uh, my perception of the, of this stuff. And so the next question I have for you, moving on in that, is from a person who is now in a better place yet still has challenges, how do you now approach people? What are your tools that you use in a sense to make a healthier decision when it comes to people, friendships, relationships, things in this nature?
You asking me?
Mm-hmm. My bad. Yes.
Um, be honest, I don't. That's the thing I need to work on. I really don't approach too many people at all.
Okay.
Um, if I'm in an environment, I'll bring up certain things with a group, and based off of that is where I'll go further or not. Because they'll just let me know where they're at and the certain things they want to discuss or talk about.
Mm.
And if it's something that I've done already or I'm past it, there's not much for me to sit at that point in time, you know. Now, if I see him again, I'll try again. And it's funny, a lot of times when you get people out of groups, you get a deeper depth of the person. But when they're in the group, they'll stay shallow. Like whatever the group is, most people they're never gonna go deeper.
Mm.
But if you get them separate from the group, now they're willing to talk about that you may have brought up, and they have a little more knowledge on it. But they won't bring it up with the group because of how they may be viewed. Because they're not at that place where they're not ready to be shunned, right? I don't care. You say I'm crazy, cool. You like it, I love it. That's where I'm at.
Hell yeah.
So, but yeah, I that's an area that I do need to get better at is actually going out there and maybe engaging more. But I do understand, usually when you talk to a group, you're not going to get much, but as people individually or even ones or twosies, the conversation will change.
Mm.
And again, I think it's just the frequency of that you see that person and talk to them. But yeah, I haven't really been doing too much. I don't have a lot of tips. As a recruiter, it was more forced that I had to carry on conversations. And because I did that for so long, I I struggle with starting conversations because am I conversating to get to a point of them doing what I need them to do, or am I conversating to get to know someone? Do I really care about what that person thinks or feels? And that's something I'm still battling like within myself, you know?
Mm. No, I mean you're not alone in that fight. I feel pretty comfortable saying that we share that challenge, and I think you were mentioning that, Tim, as far as you having to practice to get in ready for that mode or that had whatever a situation is calling. Um, what would in your experience, what are some of the things that have helped you in the process? Like there's the preparation and all that stuff, but once you're in it, in the action, you're already in there. What keeps you in that moment of just like, okay, I gotta put this hat on, I can't, you know what I mean? What helps you stay in that?
I mean, like it's not easy. You know what I mean? Like it is by no means easy to be in these social situations for me personally. What helps me is accepting it for what it is. Like we've spoke about earlier. I've heard Ahmad said it. You've said it. I've said it. Like trying not to put expectations on the situations and the social relationships involved in them. You know, like it's really hard for me to go in and not have a motivation for whatever social interaction I have in the space. You know, like, do I want them to look at my artwork? Do I want them to stroke my ego? Do I want them to tell me more about themselves because I find something interesting, or they're just sexy? You know, and then you know, I kind of try to take inventory of what is going on, be open and listen, and when there's dead air, like, it's okay that you can give yourself permission to be like, we're done here, and like dap it out and fucking
Dip it up.
and dip. Like I am very quick to pop a smoke grenade and call a helicopter to get the fuck out of anywhere.
I remember.
Like it is okay. Like I don't need to take Xanax to stay here longer. Like I can just leave and not take Xanax. You know?
Yeah. No, that's a great tip. You know, owning your space, owning your experience, and saying I have options. Yeah, that is important. That many people, I feel, forget or maybe feel like they don't have because of whatever reason. And at the end of the day, we always have an option. And then if it's the last option of just getting up and leaving, that is still an option. As far as tips, in my opinion, you know, is making friends, although I may make it look like it's easy, something that I struggle and with, or have a challenge with. And something that I do is I pride myself in having the courage to strike the conversation. Hey, oh, nice book. What is that a book about? Oh, I like that boots. Or, oh, that's a nice top. Blah, blah, blah. Or, oh, that's a cool haircut. Where did you get your haircut? Anything that has a question that will lead for that other person to have a long-winded answer. And in turn, it gives me the opportunity to have that, to think about, like, do I want to keep this going? Do I want to ask about themselves? Do I want to tell them about myself? Like, where do I want it? Where am I at in this situation as far as social meter? And based on that, I can create a friendly conversation with anybody. And it may be just as simple as, I like your boots. Oh, okay, thank you. All right, bye. That's it. And then I personally inside, like, okay, I feel good. I did that. That's one mark off. I can do that. Maybe next time I will have 2 forms of conversations with somebody, and before I know it, now striking up a conversation isn't challenging. For me, is once I create that conversation and the friendship or acquaintance begins, now I get anxious and get in my head and I want to just pop smoke when it's unnecessary. Like, there's no need. We're having a good conversation and I'm just like, I'm on over my head. I need to get out. And I just like, okay, I got to go by. So that's where my meter kind of gets drained very quickly. But at the end of the day, you know, the one thing that I wanted to point out is the fact that even those people that you think have it figured out, even these people that are out here making movies, writing books, buying cars, doing this, doing that, every single one of us shares similarities in challenges in life. And one similarity that helps us all is a healthy friendship. If you are find yourself in a situation where friendship is not a big thing in your life, and you don't feel like you cannot go out there, you cannot meet friends, you feel awkward, you feel this, you feel that, know that there are many other people feeling exactly the way you're feeling, and wishing somebody would just go up to them and say something to them. So I highly encourage all of you guys out there to be courageous and strike up a conversation with a friend, with a somebody new, somebody you don't know, and get to know them and realize that you're not alone in this beautiful, beautiful world that we have this shared experience. We're coming here towards the end of this beautiful hour of this conversation, but again, I'm thankful to have both of my friends here, my brothers that we've created amazing experience and continue to be. Um, Man, thank you for taking the time to be here, Ahmad. And one thing that I appreciate about our friendship is the fact that no matter what, like Tim was saying, no matter what time I can call, say this is what's happening, and I know for a fact that if you say I can't talk right now, it's not because you don't want to, it's literally because you can't. And that's minor in some people, maybe minor, for me is huge. That trust, level of trust, is what keeps our friendship thriving through and through. It really helps me to know that I can be my authentic self. That truly does. And Tim, man, meeting you truly, God, Jesus, really changed my life for the better. I was at a turning point that I felt alone, and I didn't think nobody was going through the shit that I was going through. And you, so without it a second thought, you're like, dude, me too. Look at this, and that our friendship went on. But the culture that you brought into my life, and it began with just shaving my face differently. Small steps to trying new experiences really helped me to step out of my comfort zone and try and do things that I normally wouldn't have. And so that value, that energy you bring to our friendship continues to grow. And here I am now, doing my paint and doing this, going to look for nice pens and things that I would never thought I would be doing in my life. And so friendship is something that continues to be an amazing energy in my life, and I have these two gentlemen here to be witnesses of that and to be part of it. And so, yeah, man, is there anything in the
So many things, but since we're coming to the close and I'm a guest here, I just want to say thank you to DJ, and I want to say thank you to Ahmad. I think that we covered a bunch of very intricate facets of what makes friendships beautiful, and why they should be maintained and cared for to the best of our abilities, and to be grateful and accepting when they come into our lives. And last but not least, I just want to say to everybody out there, if you are struggling and your mental health is not where you would like it to be, that, I am glad that you're here with us in the universe still, and I want you to stay there. So, if you're having problems, reach out, because the world is a brighter place if you're still here. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Awesome, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Tim. Ahmad?
No, thank you both for being here. Obviously, DJ, as far as our friendship, I think it's just the honesty
Mm.
and the ability to not take things personal. Even though we may not agree at certain times, there's still that honesty and respect level. So I do appreciate that. And for everybody out there, You know it's coming. You gotta live the 3 L's. Right? Do we know what they are?
Tell us, Coach.
Yeah,
Tell us.
what are the 3 L's, man? Like, I don't know this.
Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning. Those are the 3 L's. And I encourage everybody to practice that and try to pick one of the L's every day to focus on it and have that intent on doing something about that, a positive intent. So,
Appreciate
but yeah,
it.
that's all I got, man. Enjoy your Friday nights.
Heck yeah. Be safe.
See you
Use a
next
Uber.
week.
Don't drink and drive. Don't do those crazy stuff out there. And as always, we'll see you next Friday. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
Peace.
Thank you for joining us, and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning.